Some really interesting news here in respect to how he was caught, because a relative of the alleged serial murderer and rapist submitted their DNA to a genealogy website. The DNA showed a partial match to one of the old crime scenes, and using that information, they caught the suspect after 40 years. Wild stuff and really scary at the same time. Just because of how these websites work, I mean, ultimately, this is great how it ended up catching one of the most prolific serial killers in modern day history. But isn't it kind of crazy that this was all because a family member, not him, sent the DNA to this genealogy website and it came back around?
That's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I mean, where technology is going, we just obviously have to have the money to invest in it, as, you know, on the public sector side.
I think there's big issues with privacy here, right?
And like,
what do you sign off to? It's like we've talked about Facebook and the issues with privacy with Facebook, but then now this genealogy test. I never would think that you would send off for a test and then.
And once they have that, that's theirs. That's belongs to the public.
Well, this morning when I was reading about this, I thought it's sort of scary too, because what if there's a mix-up in DNA and it's like you were convicted for a crime that you really didn't commit, or like I'm confused as to how they're allowed to access this private information. I know from these companies.
I'd really love to know. I actually don't know how they did this.
Yeah.
But I think it's fascinating. But you know, speaking of DNA. I was just watching a documentary, this is a little off topic, on HBO about how many rape kits sit in all these different cities.
Yes, I saw that
and they're just
documentary.
sitting there. And
they
it's
go
like,
bad.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, maybe this would help that situation.
Yeah, because it's almost like they pick these on which ones are of influence, and they decide, is that rape as bad as this? And it's really sad how they're treated, and they have shelf life, and after a while, you can no longer use those to get any credible. That's a great point.
I know, but it's
to
like
take the DNA from those, and maybe you can help start to solve what is an innumerable amount of those.
But the big question is public good versus privacy and your right to privacy, and where the line in that is. I don't know.
It's
I have no idea.
very, very blurry.
It's like from the outside, you want, of course, that privacy, but if you're one of those families, if you're one of the victims, then you kind of start to feel a little differently.
Yeah,
I feel all very weird about seeing the photo of him as a young person versus now the elderly guy that he is in court. I'm just so confused by it. I mean,
I almost think it's sad in a right. Look, it's great to have that closure, but you're talking about 4 decades passing where this guy's been able to live a full life.
Yeah.
And it's like he literally got away with murder. Now they found him so the victims of these families can die peacefully knowing that they caught this guy. But yet still, I'm really angered by the fact you're talking about a lot of tragedy, a lot of awfulness that this monster's created. And now he's in his 70s and they've got him. That's good. I'm glad. But again, that guy got away with a lot. And who knows how much more is still out there.
I know.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Creepy.
It's really, really sad. All right, well, G, on a positive note here, we thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
A lot of
you
our
guys
audience.
are so fantastic.
Well, thank you very much.
Sorry to interrupt.
No. We love compliments, so feel free to do that whenever. G, everybody out there is curious what's going on with you. I know we've had a chance to mention sometimes, but for those who have missed it, can you fill us in?
Absolutely. And I do want to get a little serious. Did you know that the Chicago Sun-Times is 174 years old? Wow. It is the longest continuously running paper in our city. And right now, I'm going to make a serious plea. I've experienced this recently. Sometimes you don't know how good something is until it's gone, right?
Right.
We're so busy in our society, we're doing so much stuff. Sometimes we don't realize that, gosh, you know, we're gonna miss this if this is gone. And recently we had a blank front page to the paper, and we are really trying to make sure that this world-class city has 2 papers to go to. And we really care, we're called the hardest working paper in America. We really care about the everyday Chicagoans telling their stories, having a strong editorial voice. And you can help us, please help us by subscribing to us digitally. It's only $7.49 a month. That's less than 25 cents a day. Think about how much you spend. So I hope you guys will all subscribe, the 3 of you. I've subscribed, and please help keep this paper going. You will miss us if we're gone. So really, really
sold.
Please, thanks.
Amen.
Thank you so much, G.